What's up, guys? Big Papa Drock back with another Raid Shadow Legends video. And guys, as you can see, we aren't alone. And not only are we not alone, we have a first-time guest on the channel. Guys, welcome in. I'm Roadblock. What's up, Roadblock?
What's up, Drock? How you doing?
I am doing fantastic. We actually just did a collab on your channel. So guys, make sure to check out Roadblock's channel for that collab. I think you'll find it fun. It's a little bit of stuff you might not have heard from me before. I'm going to link it down below in the description and put a pinned comment up, all the fun stuff there. But you told me before we did a collab on your channel that it was your first time ever doing a collab. Is that right?
My first time on my channel.
On your channel.
Yes.
On your channel. So that's good. So I'm the first ever collab on his channel, and now it's your first time on my channel, but he has collab before. So yeah. Roadblock, you came up with a pretty cool idea for today's video, and I thought it would be a lot of fun to share with the audience what it is. So we're going to talk about what your 5 biggest frustrations are with PvP, because you are primarily a PvE player, whereas obviously I am a PvP dude. But before we get into it, I just want to establish kind of a little bit about your account. Now, are you free to play? Are you a low spender? Can you give me a little background on how long you've played Raid, that kind of stuff?
Gotcha. I have 2 accounts. My main account has spent some money, but I would qualify it as low spend, certainly compared to the Krakens. And then I've had a free to play account that just turned a year old that's where I started content creation. I've been documenting it for a year. It's insanely overpowered. I've had crazy luck on it. It's incredible, and it's an episodic series on my channel. So,
oh, okay, crazy luck. What's the best thing you've pulled?
Teox.
Ah, yeah, so, that's pretty good luck.
Can I just give you the top 5 that I have?
Yeah, I want to hear the top 5. Let me hear them.
Teox, Odin, Georgid, Newt.
Wow.
And obviously Armands. I did
on a complete free to play?
Completely free to play. Every single episode's been documented. It's all the shard pulls are up there. They're live. You can see them.
Wow.
It's been very, very lucky. The whole point of the video was to make a realistic free to play account, but
that's super realistic. That's what every free to play. I'm free to play, obviously. You can see on my screen right now. This is extremely free to play. The most free to play that's ever free to play in Roadblock. But man, that is incredible, dude. I mean, I thought I had good luck on my free to play account. People were accusing me of cheating, actually. Funny enough, on my free to play, which I have to do a video on that. That's neither here nor there, but. That's crazy luck. Those are some incredible champs. Good for you.
I'll do one more one-up real quick, and then we'll get to the video.
Let me hear it.
I pulled Turvold and Georgid in the same 10 pull.
That is disgusting. In the same temple on a free-to-play. That is broken luck. Good for you.
Now, I don't have Mikage yet, but
I think we'll survive. That's that content creator boost. Clearly, you're getting that boost. But enough about your free-to-play account. We're here to talk about PvP, and this is interesting because obviously it's a very different perspective from my own. So let's go ahead and get started. What are your biggest pet peeve in PvP right now?
So one of my biggest is definitely live arena reset time. I talk about this a lot on my channel. So my daughter's bedtime is exactly at reset time at 8 o'clock, right? And so it's incredibly frustrating for me to be able to get in during that time. Technically her bedtime's at 9, so we're doing all the pre-bedtime stuff, and then we have by the time I'm done tucking her in, everything, I've got 20 minutes to run 10 battles. It's just not enough time. Yep.
I totally feel you, dude. I totally feel this is one of my bigger pet peeves as well, because for a content creation perspective, you'd love to be able to jump on this at all times of the day. Like if I were full-time content creating and I wanted to stream live arena for a couple hours earlier in the day, you can't necessarily do that, right? And it is super restrictive to these very tiny windows, and it's something I think they could change if they were willing to, you know what I mean? So yeah, I totally agree. I think this is a great one.
I get why they did it to start. They don't have any idea how popular the mode will be, or they're gonna, we don't want long queue times. But I mean, the reality is you end up playing a lot of bots anyways. If you're like me and you lose a bunch, it's like, lost 3. Give me that bot.
Don't get me started on that. The loss, that's another, you know, I don't know if that's on your list, but that bug or whatever it is where after you lose 3, you have to wait for, I swear to God, it feels like 5 to 10 minutes to find a match. Drives me crazy. Was that on your list?
That might be a big PvP thing. I've never noticed a longer wait time after losing 3. I usually get a bot pretty quickly. So
lucky you, because on the high level, once you lose 3, you just sit there. You sit there, you sit there, you sit there. And I was trying to do a content video actually recently, and it screwed up my ability to do the content because I had to wait for finding an opponent, which took about 5-6 minutes. And by the time I found one, it had taken off my ability to try to finish that video in that tiny little live arena window. So I completely agree with this. This is excellent. You're starting off strong for a PvE player. But what else you got? Okay, so we got the windows of time. What else you got?
Seed. I know technically it's not arena, but
Siege.
You know, that's something that I feel like I don't necessarily agree with the auras not working in Siege, but I love the concept of the game mode. I'm a very strategically minded person. In fact, I feel like I've come up with the best possible strategy for my clan, which is all different levels. I mean, we've got some people that are still struggling to get Ultra Nightmare down regularly, right? So we're kind of like at all ends of the spectrum for players, and we've managed to find a way to like lock down key choke points, put our best teams there, try to hide our weaker players behind it. Like we have a strategy that it works okay, but the rewards are quite frustrating, and I'm mostly referring to the Florence. I mean, we can see right there on your screen that everything's in disrepair, right? Yep. And that's part of the strategy. It's part of the fun. I want to be able to use this fun stuff. I want to be able to empower my choke points and use the magic towers and the defense towers to their full advantage. Yep. And instead, I get to repair one every siege, and that's it.
Yeah. Have you played any other gacha style games, anything like that, or is this your first? Is Raid your first?
No, okay. This was my first. Yeah, so, it was a sponsorship on my channel way back when.
You would ask the same way I got. They got me like that. The only difference is they got a lot more of my money, Roadblock, than they did yours. So congratulations, you avoided falling into the trap. But this is probably one of the biggest potential areas in the game that is absolutely one of the worst executed areas in the game. Because if you've played any other gacha games, siege type modes can be so much fun, so much fun. But they really missed the mark with this mode. Like it has its moments, but man, oh man, it is probably one of the bigger disappointments for content that they've released, at least in my opinion. So I agree with this too. Like so far, from my eyes, these are things that I would say like, yeah, this really bums me out about PvP. So good list so far, dude. Good list so far for sure. So that's your second. What's your third?
So this is where I think we're going to deviate a little bit because my third one is a champion.
Okay. I'm really curious. Who's the champion?
It's not the champion that you think.
Got it.
And I think this is going to be a common for low spenders and maybe PvE players. This may be a common frustration. No. So
who is it?
It's a Void legendary. I think you're going to be really shocked by this, and this may be a hot take.
If this is Fatalis, I'm going to lose my mind. This better not be Fatalis. Okay,
this is my personal. I want to be clear about this. I don't think all PvE players feel this way or all low spend players, but for me personally, this one champion is driving me up a wall. Marishka.
Oh, okay. I totally understand that. Actually, totally get it.
Because Armands, I've got a lot of Stone Skin, even on both accounts, my free-to-play and main account, I've got Stone Skin. I can kind of work there. I also have my own Armands. So I can just outspeed their Armand, right? Yep. But I feel like with Marishka, unless you have which I now have technically a block revive with Teox, but
sure, but hard to use though. Very hard to use.
And I don't have the Lizard Men to go with him.
Yeah.
So, it's just so frustrating. And man, on my main account, I got the Bolant Freewalker, the Skinwalker.
Sure.
I pair him with Nishak, and I think this is great, right? If he doesn't steal Stone Skin, I blow them up with bomb. The number of times that I forget to look before, and there's a Marishka on the team.
Yep.
I'm just like, oh wow, that was a waste of a token.
I've had the same thing happen, dude. Like, I'm just gonna take it one further. These two champions are still broken. They still are broken. Like, it really frustrates me that they wouldn't make common sense, reasonable nerfs to these champions. Like, for example, with Marichka, in what world should she get to revive everybody infinitely every time she dies with this much turn meter and this much HP? HP. It's just too powerful at every level of the game, whether you're a low spender or the biggest spender that's ever existed. And certainly placing this block damage buff, like, this is way more powerful now with some of these mythical champions. So it's tough because I'm also like, this is the only thing that balances out some of the strategies now because of speed with specifically with God, what's his name? I can't remember his name.
Commodus?
Gizmak. Where's Gizmak?
Oh, Gizmak. Okay.
Was Gizmak, who has become like the nuker of choice for high level players because of his ability to not have any of his burns resisted. Essentially, like, his burns go on no matter what. You can't resist them. You can't stop them. I mean, maybe if you have immunity set on, but most people are building their champions like that. So Marichka is one of the biggest counters to him and to Commodus, but it is like a super strong ability, right? Like, it's crazy, this passive.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of the, especially for newer players and, you know, PvE players, specifically, at least for me, I've got a bunch of speed gear. I can go fast, and I can usually go first, and I can wipe their team only to have it all pop right back up, and now my turns are all reset. Yeah. And now they've got 75%, and then they go, and I just lose.
She needs just a common sense nerf. Just like, you revive all allies once. That's it. One time, and then you have like a 3-turn limit on that for her, or a 4-turn limit or something like that, because it's so powerful. And say, I don't know if you have problems. You have any problems with Tars? Tell me, Roadblock. You have any problems with Tars?
I'll be honest. I mean, at my level, I want to be clear about that, because I know there's going to be a lot of people that do. But at my level, I'm able to pretty much take care of him. I mean, whether it's my Thor, my Georgid, or Sun Wukong, I'm usually able to wipe him off the board, or even just polymorph him, take him to half health, and then finish him off. So I've never really been scared when I see Terras, but Marichka gives me pause now. And the thing that frustrates me is, and again, could just be my account, but I don't feel like I have a lot of viable ways, especially on my free-to-play, to counteract her ability. On my main account, I use a Mortu Macabre still, which I know that's a little older meta, but he gets the job done against Marichka pretty well. But other accounts, it drives me crazy.
She's really tough. I don't disagree. Like, she's definitely tough on free to play. I faced her, on my free to play account, and it's definitely not easy. The only thing I changed about Taurus, just to jump on, is I want this removed. Like, remove the reducing enemies attack stuff. Just crazy that you can't continue to hit this guy. You get less damage dealt over time. And on top of that, he has a passive that prevents him from taking nearly as much damage as a normal champion. And the fact that his HP works differently than every other champ's, in that his reduction of HP doesn't actually reduce his damage, which is pretty nuts. So, okay, I can get behind this, though. I completely agree with you. So far, everything you're saying is stuff that I, as a higher level player or as a bigger spender, realistically, would agree with. Like, I don't think there's a single thing you've said that I'm like, nah, I think that's crazy. So I gotta know, Roadblock, what's the fourth thing? Are we gonna still be lockstep here? Is this the coming together of free to play and spenders making a harmonious union? How do you feel about polymorph?
No. You're not gonna like my take on it.
Oh, no! Don't bring that bad energy in here. Then we're gonna stay friends. So what's your fourth? Roadblock?
I think we're gonna be in agreement on this one, and that is the impossible to beat easy teams. Now, what I mean by that is, if somebody puts in a super fast Paragon, because I don't have time to, like, if I just see a one-person team, I click go, right? And it's a Paragon, and it's unkillable, and I can't get rid of it, because their resistance is crazy high. My resistance on my Sun Wukong isn't exactly what I would like. And I've even run into some that will resist my Polymorph on Armands, and I'm basically just stuck there for 30 minutes, hoping I get, I think it's 3%,
Yeah.
lucky.
Okay.
And that's basically it. And those types of teams drive me crazy because there's just nothing, and there's no indication otherwise. And I've even run into some that look like easy teams, but like maybe they just throw in Armands. I'd say 8 out of 10 times, we'll even go 9 out of 10 times, I beat the Armands. They just chucked it in there, trying to be nice and let people rank up in arena or what have you. And then I find the one that outspeeds my Arbiter or even my Odin, and his aura anyways. And it's just like, okay, come on. Why is this here? I could have just dodged this team. Instead, I'm locked into this fight for 5 minutes while I wait for a chance to take a turn and even end it sometime because he just keeps crowd controlling and taking turns.
So that's interesting because I'll say that I don't disagree with this, right? Like I know how frustrating that is, even in like PvE stuff when you face that stupid Paragon on some of those faction war stages. I don't like that guy can do that. I think it's cheese to the max, though it is helpful like in completing Nightmare Campaign if you're lucky enough to pull a Paragon from like a Void Shard. But it is something that you don't run into at the high level because at that point you have like your accuracy just so far outstrips people's resist 99% of the time. It's pretty rare. So I would say I don't disagree with this, but it's not a problem that the spenders face very often. Like I can't remember the last time I had someone cheese me out of a win with a strategy like that. It definitely happened earlier on when I first started the game for sure, or like it could happen on a free-to-play account. Absolutely. So yeah, all right, I can get behind that. So that's 4. We're gonna call that 4 for 4. But what's the 5th one, man? What's the 5th one?
Are you ready, Drock? You ready?
So help me God, if this is about Polymorph, and you love it, or something like that. I guess you wouldn't say that because it's about what you want to change, but don't do it to me, Roadblock. Don't do it. Not on my channel.
This is a take that I think a lot of spenders don't have to worry about. I'm gonna Tag Team Arena.
Yes. Oh yes, the old Tag Team Arena. Okay.
So my free to play is just about to hit silver. My main account has hit gold 1 once in recent memory, and I almost stopped caring about this argument, but then I got demoted back to silver. So I'm mad about it again. And I don't get it. I don't get it. And the main thing I want to talk about is maybe the numbers aren't true or whatever, but the numbers when you're looking at the gears and they say like 327,000, 17,000, however many they are. The math ain't mathin', man. Like I don't understand. So if you were to estimate how many people play Raid Shadow Legends, what would you say?
This is a tough question because like if the question is how many people play right now, that's very different from how many people have played over time. They've had millions of people download this game, but how many people are actively playing? I think it has to be like less than 100,000 for sure, and more likely probably less than 50. And by actively play, I mean like logs in at least once or twice a week, which I don't even think that's that active, but that would be kind of my expectation. Less than 50,000 max. I don't know. Maybe I'm wildly off here, but what do you think?
Well, then maybe that's why these numbers make sense. But to me, I was guessing 1 million, which sounds high based on your assessment there. But I even did the math on it at 500,000. People that play somewhat. I mean, because the way I think about it, how many mobile users out there pick it up? They probably don't even complete their daily quests, but they play it, on their lunch break or something. For me, it's just the percentages don't seem to be what one would expect. Now, I'm not a big spender, of course, but do you think that gold 1 of bronze should be limited to the big spender?
Oh no, I think it's like there are certain things in the quest, and like, you know, you look at the quest for Ramantu, for example, which I think is primarily what you're talking about here, because it's basically the hardest thing to do in the game as a free-to-play player, other than probably Centranos and Curse, like Soulcross, which is just basically impossible unless you've gotten unbelievably lucky and played for a very long time to get lots of different champions. So I don't like that this is tied into getting that champ, because it is so restrictive, and it's very clear. Like, I haven't made the push on my free to play yet beyond bronze 4. But I know once I get to silver, it's about to get real, because even the bronze teams, you know, though I can beat them, it's not like they're guaranteed easy wins all the time on bronze 4. Like, there are some solid teams in there. And if there's some solid teams in here, I can't even fathom what comes over here. You know what I mean? Like, and the fact that this is tied, I don't know if I have the quest in here, but the fact that it's tied to a mission and, you know, is so important for getting a really great champion. I can't even see it because I've completed it on this account, but you know, imagine that it's here. But yeah, I mean, I personally, I hate tag team arena as a PvP player. I think almost every PvP player hates this mode as their least favorite by far. They should frankly have taken it out or redone it or made it better. It is just such a time sink and so frustrating. It's not fun.
If you go back to the tiers real quick for me.
Sure.
I just kind of wanted to give, comparable numbers and kind of, so if we say 500,000, and I can probably do the math real quick if need be, but there are only 17,000 people in gold. If you add up the numbers in gold, then the total that you're going to get, 7,000 plus 4,500 plus 30,000 plus 2,500 is 17,000, right?
Yeah. Very small.
If we do have 1 million players, which we may not, that's only 0.017%. Like, that's insane. And to put it in comparison, another game I like to play is Overwatch.
Great game. I used to play a lot of Overwatch.
They've got, even at their master level, it's 1.9%, right? You know, or even Diamond, 9.4%. You're talking about 0.01% or 0.03%. It just doesn't make sense to me. I think the numbers are just too low.
It's definitely punitive, and I don't disagree with you whatsoever. I would 100% be completely fine with increasing these limits, like tripling all of them. Triple every limit so you get more people in there.
I think the reason it's maybe not as big of an issue or talked about more is it's only a frustration until you get Ramantu, and then no one cares ever again. Oh, I'm in silver, I don't get the gold rewards, whatever,
you're absolutely right. It's one of those things. So this is like but which brings up a really valid point for a video I want to make in the future, or some things that I want to talk about in the future, where there's this idea, I think, with a lot of players of Raid, that just because it doesn't affect me means, it doesn't mean that it shouldn't be fixed, right? Like, I am a big believer in anywhere we can improve stuff, improve it. Even if it only affects a small percentage of players, who cares, man? If it's something that's worth fixing and it's not hard to fix, and this is as simple as changing a number, you know what I mean? Like, now it's 8, like, it takes 2 seconds to fix this. But the way I look at it is, there are things that they do in the game to try to drive people to spend, right? And that's really what RaidShadowLegends and a lot of gacha games is how can we frustrate you as the player to make you spend more? And usually that's done through time gates, right? Like, it takes a really long time to do certain things in Raid. Like, completing some of these missions, like, it takes a long time. Hell, it took me months to do Marius because I wasn't really grinding it ultra hard. So I think that's like a philosophy thing that I wish Plarium would adopt, in that they try to make some of these things that, this might not affect. Hold on, I gotta get my energy here, Roadblock. What am I doing? We're stopping the rant so I can make sure to get my rarity charms. This might not affect a ton of people, but it is incredibly limiting and frustrating. And so I totally would love to see them change this. I think this is another good change.
Yeah. And like my main account is no slouch. Like, it's not like it's strong. I mean, I would put it up there as one of the more powerful accounts in my clan for Siege. And I watch your videos, and so I know what I'm doing now. But yeah, to get into tag team arena, you combine it with the time sink, and then combine it with how difficult it is at that level. I mean, I'm probably facing a lot of players that you face maybe in live arena, even at gold 1.
It's very possible. It's very possible.
Just because there's not enough slots for all those players. So yeah, and I agree. It goes beyond that, of course, but that's my pet peeve. I usually just do the 10 battles a day. I try not to do the 20 a day.
Oh hell no!
I just don't have time for that.
Hell no! I do not do the 20 in this game. This game mode is punishment, is how I feel like it. Like this is of all the arena stuff, this is far and away my least favorite. Like I have valid complaints about classic arena and about live arena, but this one is just not salvageable. Just put it out of its misery. It's awful. So yeah, you won't ever catch me doing more than 10 battles in this on my main account. So yeah, I totally get it.
I'll do my 10 battles and then I won't touch it again. And I honestly, I just go top to bottom. If and maybe that's why I'm not getting gold, I guess, but to put that much work into this game mode, it's worth it.
That's honestly part of it though, right? Again, like even I with my account won't choose to fight every single person on a page if I think it's going to be a harder fight, because my whole goal on this account is I just want to click auto. I don't want to manual a damn thing. I don't even have particularly strong teams for my account built here. Like they're okay, they're fine. Like they're really, the reason why I've done this is because I just want to get all the affinities, because those stupid daily missions require some of this stupidity, right? So the team makes no sense, but because I want to cover my bases, it's like, here's my all same affinity. Here's my 4 different affinities. So I think you could even make an argument that a lot of these, daily quests are tied to outdated mechanics or mechanics that people hate that can easily be fixed, where instead of this being like use 1 Hydra key, this is by far the worst in my opinion. Like, let's just make this something more reasonable. This is a 2-hour thing in some cases, 1 to 2 hours in order to get the reward.
I've had a guy in my clan, he did Hydra with an uncommon. Like he was just like, what? I'm just getting my key.
Yes. Yeah. I've done that on my free to play where I'm like, I don't care. Like I can't do that on my main, but on my free to play, like, yeah, I'll do that. So I think these are all really good examples. And it's interesting because it gives me a little bit of a different perspective from the person who isn't the insane spender, and good for you. You know what I mean? Like, it is interesting how many overlap. I think there's a closer bridge, or a bridge between free to play and low spenders and high spenders. I know a lot of time that, we're pitted against each other because there are things that free to play players love. Polymorph, which is absolute horrible. One of the worst things ever done.
I don't love it.
Okay. I don't love it. But, like there are things that they put in the game that maybe free to play players like more than people that spend. But I think there are a lot more things we can agree on than on things we disagree on.
Do we have time to
sure.
Expand about Polymorph just a little bit?
You've got 30 seconds to talk about Polymorph. 30 seconds, Roadblock. Make it work.
Well, it ties into your point earlier. If it doesn't affect me, it's not a problem. And
yes,
they're not running it. Like, I'm not, I know they can't see my, well, it doesn't matter. I won't even look at it. But I don't run into a lot of Polymorph. So I'm able to run Bolent carefree. I don't care. Like, it very rarely does it ever impact me. I don't need the what's the new set? We just talked about it.
Pinpoint.
I don't need Pinpoint. I don't need the one from Siege. Like, I just don't have to worry about it. I don't see those teams at my level because people just, they don't have the blessing.
Yep.
Right. And so that's to tie into your point. It doesn't affect me, so I kind of don't care. But at some point it will, and I am on your side. If it is a broken thing, and I'm not necessarily a fan. So
it's so funny. Well, so I'm glad to hear that, and you're absolutely right. That's, I think a lot of people, they don't see it, so they don't care about it. It's something that's become more of an issue over time as people have gotten more blessings, and I think it is one of those things that just ruins the fun of the game. Now the problem is that they've made it essentially where you have to have something like Polymorph because mythicals were, ignore so much resistance, where resistance teams are now basically pointless most of the time. There are exceptions depending on what level you're at, but it's crazy stuff like that. It's like some of the design decisions on certain things baffle me. But like, this is a great example. Like, what, polymorph, you know, polymorph. You've got 3 6-star polymorph here. Like, good luck trying to play the game normally. Pinpoint can certainly alleviate this, and just to be fun, I'll go ahead and we'll bring in a champion and do this. You know, where is it? Odin. We'll bring in Odin because I've got Pinpoint on some of the stuff, but it's still like my biggest issue with it. It's just the strength has never been adjusted. It's just too strong. If it triggers in a live arena battle, you know, basically kiss yourself goodbye. It's game over. Like, you're not doing a damn thing. You know what I mean? Like, you're done. You're cooked. So I think that's my like biggest issue with it is I just wish it weren't so strong. And that's such a simple fix, where if they just made a priority to fix the overall strength, you don't have to introduce a new gear set. They just did that to get you to spend more or get that sweet money. Roadblock, they can only get that money if they don't fix the problem correctly. So it's interesting though to hear like that perspective from someone who is, you know, not a major spender. I'm glad to hear that perspective, because I feel like a lot of people are just like, well, it doesn't bother me, so I don't care. And it's like, no, I want to fix all the stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. I want to fix it all.
I did a quick look. None of the teams that are showing for me in normal arena right now have polymorph. Literally not a single champion has polymorph.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
So that's a bit of an argument for me a little bit about why I like kind of being a low spend free to play, is I don't have to worry about it. I get my wins.
Dude, I literally did a video during the free to play challenge with Hades that you were a part of as well, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a video during that challenge talking about how I preferred low level live arena because I wasn't running into polymorph. And that was a big part of why I took such a long break from playing live arena at all. It's because it just got to be asinine with how often my champions literally become sheep, where it's like, this isn't fun. It's just not fun for me to play. You know what I mean? Like, I'm fine losing because somebody has a better roster or stronger champs or whatever else. And I might be like, I got outsped. Not much I can do about it. But damn, is it frustrating when you put together a team that does the right thing, that it's the right counter, it's all the right stuff, and suddenly half your roster is sheep and you can't fix it. It's just like, what the hell is this? So it's a good place to end on. Great ending note here, because I fully I'm very pleased that you have this view of polymorph, because it still remains one of my least favorite things in a PvP format to this day, though Pinpoint has alleviated it somewhat and created other problems. So that's a whole nother video. We're not going to get into that now. So Roadblock, thank you so much for coming on the channel, man. Do you have any closing words for the viewers? Anything you want them to know?
No.
Great. He's got nothing. He's got nothing, guys. What he wants to say, or what he should say, is, hey, go check out my channel. And guys, make sure you do that. Drop him a like on a video or throw him a sub. You know, we're all about featuring other raid creators on this channel, as many raid creators have done for me. So thank you so much for coming on, dude. I hope you had a wonderful time. I had a blast talking PvE on his channel, so make sure you check out that video. And yeah, we'll have to do this again, dude. But as for now, we're done. Big Papa Drock, and I'm Roadblock, and we're out.